Welcome back. We said in our next video, this video now, we'll be dealing with rules for the use of logarithms. In the last class, we learned how to find the anti-logarithms of numbers. Now, let's see the rules for the use of logarithms. If you do not know how to find the anti-logarithms of numbers other than one, you can check out for the previous video. Now we have four major rules: the multiplication, division, power, and the rules of roots. In each case, to obtain a final answer, you need to find the antilog of the results. Now, let me say a little about them, even though calculation will make them more clear for you. For multiplication, you find the logarithms of the numbers and add them together. For division, you find the logarithm of each number, then subtract the logarithm of the denominator from the logarithm of the numerator. Then, as for the powers, you find the logarithm of the number and then multiply it by the power of the index. Then the fourth rule, as for the roots, you find the logarithm of the number and divide it by the roots. Let's see, we have some examples here. So evaluate using logarithm table. 1. 90.28 times 2.97 times 195.8. Then we have B, C, and D. So let's solve them. This is how you do it. First, you create a table, number and log. We try to simplify all the numbers. Now, for this case, where we have 90.28 times this, let's simplify them. You have 90.28, you find the logarithm of this 90.28. You know how to find logarithms of numbers, right? Look for 19 under 2, difference under 8. Just in case you missed the last video, let me just emphasize this again, so don't stress you too much. Look for 19 under 2, difference under 8. See the logarithm table here. You can get a full figure table that will help you. 19 under 2. This is 19. Then under 2, we have 2833. See it under 2. 2833. Now difference under 8. The 2833 will be added to the difference. We trace it. Under 8. Difference under 8 is 16. So 2833 plus 16 is what? 2833 plus 16. Let's do the calculation. 16 is hope we look for 19 on that. So 2833 and difference under what? 8. So that's 2833, difference under 8. That is 18. Okay. Plus 18. Let's count. 8 plus 3. I have 11. Put down 1. Carry 1. 3 plus 1, 4 plus 1, 5. We have 8. 2 is 5, 1, right? And that is how we get our mantissa. Now, as for the characteristics, how do we get the characteristics? Now we have the 28519 as the mantissa. How do we get the characteristic? You see, we have 2 digits for the decimal point, right? Remember the rule 2 minus 1, and that's equal to 1. That's how we have our characteristics as 1 point, then 2851. You see the logic? First of all, we look for 19 under 2. We got 2833. Then difference under 8 is 18. We add the difference and the value we got as first. We get 2851, and that forms the mantissa. Then to get the characteristic, we have 2 digits here. Remember, to get the characteristics, you always subtract 1 from the number of digits you have at the left hand side, and that's 1.this. Now let's continue. So we should multiply this by this. We have found the logarithm of this. We have to find the logarithm of this other one, 2.987. Using the same process, we have 0.4752. That is to say that first of all, the characteristic is 0. Why is it 0? We have 1 digit at the left hand side. So 1 minus 1 is 0. Hence, we have 0 as the characteristics. Points. Now, let's go. 29 under 8, then difference under 7. If you add the difference to the result, you will get this, 4752. Now again, remember I said multiply by this, and you also multiply it by 195.8. You repeat the same process here, 195.8. Here, our characteristic is what? We have 3 digits before the decimal point. 3 minus 1 is 2, so our characteristic is 2. Points. Now, find 19 under 5, difference under 8. Do the same thing we have been doing. You get 2 now 8. Now, remember the multiplication rule. We say for the multiplication rule, you add up the logarithms, right? So, since this multiplies this, and it also multiplies this, it means that after getting all of them, we add up their logarithms. So, this is the logarithm for this, logarithm for this, logarithm for this. We add them up, and we end up having this. You press your calculator, punch your calculator, you will get this. Now, always remember to find your anti-log. You don't stop here. If you stop here, you are wrong. You have to get the anti-log. Now, how do we get the anti-log? The same way we are looking for anti-log of numbers the other time, right? You can go to the logarithm table, look for the number whose logarithm is 0.521. Let's go to the logarithm table. This is the logarithm table. 0.521 is okay, we have 0.531, we have 0.492. So since 0.492 is the smallest one, is a smaller one closer to the value, we'll pick 0.492. Because after 0.492, what we have next is 0.531, and we cannot go for 0.531. 0.531 is higher than the value we are looking for, but 0.492 is closer to 0.521. So what we do is to pick the 0.492, and what gives us 0.492? The 0.492, where did we find it? We found it here, 11 under 2. So 11 under 2, that is to say that you can write it somewhere if you want. Now, we go 0.492. How do we make it complete 0.521? What is supposed to be added? If you say 0.521 minus 0.492, what are we going to get? Let's do this simple mathematics. Get a rough note. 0.521, 0.492. It cannot go. 11 minus 2 is 9. And we have 1 left. 11 minus 9 is 2. 4 minus 4 is 0. 29, right? Now let's see. Is it possible to have 29? Oh, well, 0.49, 5.1. Let's just continue. 0.492, right? Then where did we see 0.492 that time? 0.492. Okay, I have large values here. Let's press our calculator and see. You can press the calculator to verify. I just press the calculator and it gave me this. So we are on the right track. But you notice that if you check here, we do not have that, right? We don't have 29 here. Well, we have 26, we have 30, but we don't have 29. So let's just leave it. We'll leave it as 1, 1, 2, 7. Let's see 7 first. The difference of that 7 is 26. Let's leave it to be under 7. Since if we make it under, it will be too high, which is 30. So it should be approximate now. So give us 26. Even though it's 29 we are looking for. So that means I'll put 7 here. And that happens to be this will help me for the anti-log. So here we have 1, 1, 2, 7. But notice that our characteristic here is 4, right? So this 4 must reflect here. How is that possible? We can't. If the decimal point was to be here, that would be 0, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll fill this gap with a 0. Or simply say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember the logic that you add 1 to the characteristic to give you how you will get your decimal point here. If the characteristic is 4, it means 5 digits will be at the left hand side before the decimal point. So since we have 4, add 1 to it, it gives you 5. So we must have 5 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before the decimal point. Otherwise, you simply do it this way. Come to the whole and count 1, 2, 3, 4. Depending on the one you prefer. So that is that. It is that simple. Let's see the other one here. This one is division. Quite different from the first one. 189.7 divided by 34.8 can be written in this form. It's still the same. So you create your table. You have your numbers on one side and the logs on the other side. Now we have 189.7. If you look for the logarithm of 18 under 9 difference under 7, you will get 2781. As for the characteristic, we have 3 here, 3 digits here. 3 minus 1 is what? 2. Remember, we subtract 1 from the number of digits that we have on the left hand side. That's always the rule. So we have 2 points. It's a characteristic. Then looking for the matrix, 18 under 9 difference under 7. You know how to do it by now. And it gives you this. Now, let's go for 34.8. This time now you look for your characteristic is 1, right? 2 digits before the decimal point. So 2 minus 1 is 1 point. Now characteristic is 1. Here we have 34 under 8. We are not looking for a remainder because there's no other number there. That will give you 5416 in your 4-figure table. Now if you do this, what are we supposed to do now? We have to subtract because this is division, right? We say when it is division, you subtract the logarithms. So we subtract the denominator from the numerator. And if we do that, subtract this from this, the calculator will give you this 0.7365. And remember the process, you must always find the antilog of the results. So what's the antilog of this? We have you go to the logarithm table, look for the numbers whose logarithm is corresponding to 7365. You end up having, you will find out that for you to locate 7365, you will find it under 54. That's 54 under 5. It's a difference under 1. Are you there? We have 5.451. Or you want us to do it? We have 5451. How do we get the decimal point here? Since the characteristic is 0, it means the decimal point is going to be at the home. That is to say that 0 plus 1. Remember, we always add 1. 0 plus 1 is 1, which means we have 1 digit before the decimal point. The same thing we did the other time. So that is to say that we can say it is 5.45, so 3 significant figures. Now, what is the essence of expressing it in three significant figures? It is known that we get it more accurate when it is in form of three significant figures because they actually approximate values. So to get a more accurate value, we try to round it to be three significant figures. We have C. Let's go for C. We have 50.64 raised to the power of 5. Create a number log table. Now remember the power as for the one with index, you say you multiply. So the process is similar. We have the log to find your characteristic. You already know how to do it. We have 2 digits here before the decimal point. 2 minus 1 is 1. You have 1 point. Now, logarithm of 50 under 6 difference under 4 to give you 70.45. And since it is power, it means we multiply by the power, which is 5. If you multiply this by 5, it will give you this. And remember, you must get the anti-log, right? How do we get our anti-log? Go to the logarithm table, look for the number whose logarithm is corresponding to 5225, as we have done earlier. You will end up having 3331. Now, but since our characteristic is 8, as 8 point, you see we have 8.5225. Since the characteristic is 8, we must make sure it reflects here. How does it reflect? 8 plus 1 is what? 9. That means we have 9 digits before the decimal point. Yeah, they were not up to 9 actually. We have 331, 3331, 4 digits. So you complete it. You complete it by adding zeros. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Idea? You have to complete it by adding zeros. So 3 significant figures, we can just write it like this: 3, 3, 3, and then 0, 0, 0 all the way till you complete it. Now D. We have the fourth root of this. Create a table, number, logarithm. Now, the process is simple. 605.8. The characteristic is 2. That's 3 minus 1, which is 2. How did we get the 3? The 3 digits before the decimal point. So 3 digits. Then minus 1, as the rule has always been. That's 2. Point. Now go to the logarithm table. 60 under 5, difference under 8. You can check what we have done before. You get 7824. Since it is a root, you have to divide by the root, which is 4. If you divide this by 4, it will give you this. And remember to find the anti-log, don't forget. So how do we find the anti-log? You look for the log, go to the logarithm table, which number is corresponding to 6956. Maybe I should just do this last one. Which number is corresponding to 6956. I'm looking for 6956 to be somewhere here. 671. We have 6955 here, followed by 6964. I don't know if you can see it. Let me read it a bit. You can see 66955. See it right? Under what? We saw it under 6. 6955 is 49 under 6. 49 under 6. You can take note of it somewhere. We're actually looking for is 6956. So you have to find the difference of 1. So under that 49 under 6, the 49 under 6, here we have 6955. Look for difference of 1 to be under 1. Since it's under 1, I'll come here. Right. So 4961. So the logic is simple. Now if you have this, remember how we did it? If you have this, you will have, we even got 4962. Let me see if 2 also qualifies for that. What we had here was 6955. It wasn't supposed to be 2, it should be 1. Because it's 1 that qualifies there. We have 4961. Then how do we do it? Anti-log. Let's look for we have found the anti-log now. Now to 3 significance we got it to be 4.96. You see, it is very simple. How did we get 4.96? The characteristic is 0. 0 plus 1 is what? 1. That means we have only 4 digits before the decimal points. Yes, we got 4.96. 3 significance we got. Now, let's take some other examples. To evaluate this one. This time around, they are looking more complex, but actually they are similar to what we have done before. So evaluate 508.6 to the power of 3 times the square root of 87100 all over 7.95 squared times the cube root of 9010. That's 9010. So what do? These tests are broken down for us as a guideline. You know, in mathematics, when you're solving maths, you try to break down complex terms, you realize that they are simple. So first, work out a single logarithm for the numerator. Secondly, work out a single logarithm for the denominator. Then finally, the log numerator, subtract the log denominator from the log numerator. And finally, save the anti-log of the results. So you break it down like this, it looks very simple. Now let's progress. See what we have done here. Starting with the numerator, we have 508.6 cube. The logarithm of this, you know what to do. Find the logarithm of 50 under a difference under 6. You have this. Since it is cube, raised to the power of 3, you multiply by 3. Remember when you are dealing with powers, you multiply the powers, right? Now, this will give you this. You see how it has been simplified. Yeah, we are dealing with square root. Find the logarithm of this. It will give you this. Since it's a square root, it means you divide by 2. Remember, square root, this is 2 here. It is invisible. You don't need to write it. And if you divide by 2, it will give you this, right? Now, remember that this is multiplying this, which means their logarithms will be added up to each other. So, since they are multiplying, it means you add up their logarithms. You add up these two logarithms, this and this, it will give you this, which is 10.55892. You can do that with a calculator. It will give you 10.5892. I wrote it here for the sake of clarity. And that is for the numerator. You also come for the denominator, create another gap, make room for the denominator. We have a 7.95 square. Find the logarithm of this. You have this. It's a power of 2, meaning you multiply it by 2 and it will give you this. As for this, you find the logarithm of this, 9010, it will give you this. Since it is cube root of 8, it means you divide by 3 and it will give you this. Now remember that they are multiplying. This multiplies this, right? Meaning, since you have simplified now, you add up their logarithms and it will give you this. Now let me bring it out for the sake of clarity. Now remember that the numerator is divided by the denominator. Meanwhile, the entire numerator has been simplified to be this, while the entire denominator has been simplified to be this. So since we have this all over this, it means you will subtract this from this. We have this minus this. That's a simple logic, right? So press the calculator. 10.5892 minus 3.119. Your answer will be 7.4702. Simple mathematics. Now you can go ahead and look for the antilog. It is that simple. How do you look for the antilog? Remember what we have been doing. Go to the logarithm table and find, that is without calculator, it's good you know how to do this. Find a number whose logarithm is corresponding to 4702, and that you will get 2953. But since the characteristic is 7, remember the rule. If the characteristic is 7, you want to get the antilog, you add 1 to it, which is 8, right? So you make sure that there are 8 digits before the decimal point. It happens that we have 4 significant digits already, but we have to continue. To complete the 8, add zeros to make it complete. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see the logic? Or you simply say, since you have 7 here, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's simple. Feel free to ask a question in the comment section. You can drop your concerns and they will likely be addressed. Now, here's the assignment. Use tables to evaluate the following, giving your numbers correct to 3 significant figures. Remember the reason you are to give your answers in 3 significant figures you have been told before. 68.9 times 8,409. 2. 89,000 times 174.9. And then take note of this. You have this, you simplify them. You notice that they are simple no matter how complex looking they may be. Now, when else will come, you see this work here. It's about logarithm of number less than 1. This is what we'll be doing when else will come. We'll do with logarithms of numbers less than 1. Do well to follow up with next videos. It is of my interest that I will teach all topics related to mathematics, further mathematics, physics, and chemistry. For now, we are expatiating on a particular topic called logarithms. And once we have done justice to it, we address other topics as well. So we do justice to all topics in maths, and as time permits us, we do justice to topics in further maths, physics, as well as for chemistry. So good luck. Thank you for watching. Do well to subscribe. I appreciate very much. My name is Jumbo Lucky Wajirogene. Let me write it somewhere for you, just in case you want to know the name. This is Jumbo Lucky Wajirogene. I don't know the spelling. Yeah, you have it here. Jumbo Lucky Wajirogene. Good. That's the name. God bless you. I want to see you during the next video. Goodbye. Bye. Have a blessed day.